Good evening, Tiz. How are you doing today? I'm doing well. I'm looking forward to the stream. Getting some pretty good plot development going. If I remember correctly, last we left off with The Longest Journey, we ended up in Arcadia in our undies. So April's probably not happy about that. She's probably going to be searching for some clothes. And also trying to figure out how the heck she got to Arcadia. Personally, I like the Arcadia bits better than I like the Stark bits, but that's because I'm more fantasy oriented than grungy futuristic. That is true. Might just be you and me tonight, buddy. And you know what? That's fine. I do like April. I feel like she and I would be friends. Because she's sassy, sarcastic, and very humorous. I think we would get along. Also, I really like her fashion sense. It works for her. We'll probably get started after this song. You don't like her fashion sense? Kind of took that as her fashion sense is okay. Like there's something wrong with it that you disagree with. Is it because she doesn't have a twirly skirt? Everything can be made better with a twirly skirt. I'm not disagreeing. I'm wearing a twirly skirt myself. It has been road tested. It is very twirly. It has been dance tested. The other night, my husband got me dancing, and we were dancing to a song called Mildred, Won't You Just Behave? And it is a great song. That is true. Why should we behave when misbehaving is so much fun? I miss dancing too. I'm telling you, eventually there's going to be a big party hosted by me, and it's going to have the Jazz Coasters playing, and it's going to be swing-tabulous. And yes, that is a word. I'm coining it right now. All right, let's get this show on the road. All right. Like I said before, the last time we left Miss April Ryan, she was in her underwear in Arcadia at night. So she doesn't know how she got there.
I'm in my undies. That's so not appropriate.
It's public nudity.
The
Almost.
journeyman. The journeyman. Very appropriate, though it really should have been the journeywoman.
Uh-huh, you don't say.
There's something so soothing and poetic about the way the moonlight is reflected on the clean and clear surface of the water.
Is there anything else? Just the darkness. Let's go into the journeyman. See if we can get us some clothes. That's quite the hairstyle. That's a very Team Rocket hairstyle.
They don't look so different from farmers and craftsmen back home. It's a small world. Worlds. Small worlds. Honest working men out for a pint or two. Assorted bottles, herbs, and spices. It's their first date, I can tell. They're a cute couple. I wonder if romance is different here, or if the rituals are the same as back home. I mean, magic must play some part in it. That looks like a really, really comfortable chair.
Comfy chair.
Assorted bottles, herbs, and spices.
Let's see, anything else?
Filled with ale, probably. They never have beer in these taverns, just ale.
Okay.
Open fires are so enchanting, romantic, and inspiring.
Let me click on the woman.
She looks like she works here.
Let's talk to her. Give me some clothes, please.
Excuse me. Hello? Hi, hello, do you work here?
Do I work here, child? I'm the owner. I own and operate the Journeyman Inn.
Oh, I didn't know.
Of course you did not, child, but be careful. Others may not be as quick to forgive as I am when you address them disrespectfully.
Is there a party going on?
Is there a... Do you not know? It is the Feast of the Balance. Have you never taken part in the celebration?
Unfortunately, no. I'm not a party person.
For as long as I can recall, the feast has lasted 3 whole days and nights, and everyone celebrated openly. But now, this year, there is great concern about the Vanguard and their supporters. So this year, the Feast of the Balance is celebrated inside, behind closed doors, and for 1 night only. But there's still much food and drink, and you are welcome to join if you so please.
I don't think so. I don't know anybody here.
You're not with the Vanguard, are you?
No, I'm from somewhere else, far away.
So it would seem. Well, if you feel up to it, child, you're welcome to join in the celebration.
Thanks. Why do you celebrate the Feast of the Balance?
You are a stranger to our customs indeed. The balance. You do know about the balance, do you not?
Sure. The balance between magic and science. I know about the balance.
The balance of all, child. Everything is in balance, and the Guardian watches over the balance and us. We celebrate the Feast of the Balance to give our thanks to the balance and to the Guardian. If our devotion to the balance falters, if we lose our faith in the Guardian, then we are inviting chaos to destroy us. This is what the Vanguard is doing. Inviting chaos. They are dangerous.
What's the Vanguard doing to destroy the balance?
They are not doing anything to destroy the balance, but they destroy people's faith in the balance. They speak to the people, telling them how the Sentinel, the Fathers, are holding our world back. And that if we were to use the balance to our advantage, we could return to the old ways, the ways of the ancient Earth, before the divide. Vanguard promised the people power and wealth and happiness, but they intend only destruction, death.
What's your name?
What's your name?
Benrima Salmon. I am the owner and proprietor of this inn. I bought it with money earned through honest trade in the Southlands. Tobacco, wine, slaves. That is where I'm from. The Southlands.
I'm April. April Ryan.
Well met, April Ryan. Have you come to meet someone, a handsome young suitor, perchance?
No such luck, I'm afraid. I'm here more by accident than anything else.
Ah, no accident, April. Fate. Fate delivered you here tonight. You are strong in fate, are you not?
Sure, honest trade. You say in the same sentence as slaves.
What do you mean by strong in fate?
You shape your own fate, and not the other way around. You are what the Dark people call a wave.
How can you tell?
I am not only an innkeeper, child. I am a seer, taught by my mother, who was taught by her mother before her. And so it goes back to the dawn of our world, to the dawn of magic.
I'm gonna be a dummy and say, what the heck is a seer?
What's a seer?
A seer is someone who can tell something about people, about events, about the past and the present and the future, just by looking at you. When I look at you, I see.
What? What do you see?
Most people are drawn along by events, by fate, like a carriage after a horse. But some people know how to steer the horse, to change paths at will. You are such a person, but there is more.
Aliens. It's Sorry, just the way she had her hands made me remember the guy from the History Channel. Just aliens. Tell me about my future.
Tell me more about my future.
It is strange. I see many paths, but they are all dark. I cannot tell much except that you are strong in fate and strong in the balance. And you are strong in magic, too.
Magic? That can't be right. I don't know anything about magic.
You do not have to know about magic to be strong with magic. If you ever learn how to harvest your talents, you will be a strong artisan.
Artisan?
Where have you been schooled, child? Have you forgotten your lore?
My lore? Yeah, well, I haven't really had much use for my lore lately.
The artisan is the most powerful of magic users. She is able to shape magic and to use it by force of will alone. An artist can use magic shaped by others, mold it into new magic, new art. A magician, or sorcerer, witch, warlock, can read and write incantations, drawing spells from the power of words. And the alchemist can create magic potions. He is the least of the four. Anyone with proper education can be an alchemist. The other three require some form of talent for magic.
Thank you.
I am at your service any time, child. I am afraid I must go take care of my guests now. Enjoy yourself.
They're definitely having fun.
Hello. Thing?
What a strange creature.
Let's talk to the strange creature.
Thank you, April Ryan.
How do you know my name?
What?
There is no time here, but there soon will be time for you and I. Time enough, to be sure. You are speaking to me, April Ryan. We have spoken.
I don't understand what you're... And how do you know my name? Who are you?
Have we not met yet? I was sorry, then, for confusing you. I will be Abnaxus of the Venar, ambassador to the Ireed Council in Marcuria for a time.
I think I would have remembered you if we'd met. Who told you my name?
You did. You are saying your name to me, April Ryan. In this moment, you tell me your name. You question why I know your name, and you speak to me the blessings of the balance for my long journey home.
Sorry, I really don't know what you're talking about.
It is difficult for us too, April Ryan, to understand you. We, the Venar, are not perceiving time like your people. In this moment we are everywhere. In this moment we are nowhere. But there is a veil. Beyond this veil we are not seeing, but you have. You will be seeing. You are seeing.
What veil?
The veil created in chaos, by chaos, with chaos. It is a dark presence in our future, yes, future. A dark veil which hides the things that have been and will be.
What's all this got to do with me?
It was late. You were tired. We have talked in the morning when you come to visit me. Now you understand everything. Thank you, April Ryan. The blessings of the balance to you too.
Did you just invite me to your home?
I will. I did. I invite you to my home, April Ryan. My home was in the Marcuria City Green, and you will find it in the morning, before chaos came. I am explaining everything, and you understood.
It seems I've already accepted your invitation, so I guess I don't have a choice.
That is what you said. Good night. You will sleep well.
Is it just me or is his fingers super long? Have fun, Potato Man. Is it bad I already forgot his name? Is there anything else I can touch?
I really assorted bottles, herbs, and spices.
Oh no, what was she saying?
Oh, for a muse of fire that would ascend the brightest heaven of invention. Shakespeare, I believe. If I'm to find my muse, I guess it will have to be here in Arcadia. I wish I could sit down for just 5 minutes. It's a very comfortable chair.
Ooh, I can use it now. You are getting very, very sleepy. Cortez?
Wake up, child.
Good morning. Are you gonna give me clothes now?
Sorry, I guess I fell asleep. What time is it?
It is morning. We need to clean before we open for breakfast, so I had to wake you.
I slept right through the party?
It seems so. You did not stir even when everyone was leaving.
Oh well, I feel pretty good considering.
Very comfy,
You
sure.
look a little pale, but it's nothing a good porridge won't fix.
It was pretty comfy to sleep in. I'm a little stiff, but that's only to be expected, I guess. The back rooms are both empty. Assorted bottles and spices and herbs. They look empty, and after last night's shindig, that's no wonder. Barrels.
Barrels. Barrel! Oops.
It's
Wanted
the
to look.
innkeeper. She looks busy.
Can we talk to her again?
Not to sound rude, but I've had my fill of her for the moment.
Rude.
Do you intend to walk about in that outfit, child? It is day, it would not be proper.
It's all I have.
Come, we will find something more suited to a young lady about the city.
Yes, please. God, give me clothes.
How do I look?
Well, it'll have to do for now. You do not have the most womanly of forms, but I'm certain you will fill out in time, with the right diet.
Thanks. Thank you for the clothes, for everything.
You will have time aplenty to thank me while you are cleaning plates and cutlery, child.
I'm sorry. Work?
Those clothes do not come free, child, nor does a night spent sleeping before the fire. I'm not asking much, only for a helping hand in cleaning.
Ah, there's the strings.
All right. Tell me where to start.
I'll be gracious.
You can start carrying in the mugs from the back room.
Hop to it.
You did good work for me today, child. More than was required. Here you are. Some coin to help you out. And keep the clothes. You seem to have grown into them already.
Oh my. Anything else I can look at?
The back rooms are both empty. It was very comfy.
Very comfy.
Excuse me?
Yes? Oh, it is you.
It is me.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome, child.
Is that it? I guess it
Barrels.
is. Barrels.
Barrels.
Barrels. Sorry, that's an inside joke with someone else. Oh, Lord.
That's a funny-looking animal. Square jaw and broad shoulders.
Yeah, okay.
I wonder if she's caught anything today. Square jaw and broad shoulders. A real farm boy. Quite a sexy one, too.
Saving? Guess she likes a good old country boy. Let's go to the city. We're supposed to go to the city green, I believe.
It's a flower bed. There's plenty of room for more seeds to be planted in there. It's a flower bed.
It's a flower bed. Believe
It's a leaf of organic plastic.
there is something that we can do in here. This is a leaf that I picked.
Not very good at this, but hey, I was born on a farm. That's gotta count for something.
It was a leaf that was picked off of a plastic plant back in Stark.
Now, grow.
Oh my.
Whoa, I must be a natural-born gardener.
Um,
Strangest thing, I thought I heard a voice say something about a book of secrets. That the book of secrets is now open. Something like that. Huh.
you hearing voices, honey?
It's a flower bed. That's one mother of a plant. I wonder if it's a carnivore.
Feed me, Seymour.
It looks to have been carved out of a large tree, but the texture of the house is more stone than bark. It's a solid oak door.
Any other things that I can click? Nope. Alright, let's go to see if we can get in. Run, Maple. There we go.
Enter, honored guest, and I would have been with you presently.
Not gonna lie, I love his mode of speaking. It's awesome. Shelves.
Some of them look to be in English, but I know they're not. It's the Altung language Tobias told me about. The tongue of magic. Sounds a little disgusting, to be honest.
Be welcomed, stranger, to my abode.
Stranger? Don't you remember me? You invited me here.
Every moment we meet, and every moment we part. You are both stranger and friend, April Ryan.
I'm sorry, but could you try to be a little less obtuse this time? I have a hard time understanding half of what you say.
I will beg for your forgiveness, April Ryan. I had a hard time to make myself understood amongst other peoples.
It's weird
I
seeing
will
his mouth
pull
move.
myself into this moment, difficult as it may be, so that we can communicate and so that you may understand. It is important that you understand, April Ryan, very important.
Who are you?
I am Abnaxus of the Venar, ambassador to the Ireed Council in Marcuria. My people live far from here, and they do rarely visit your kind, and so I am their sole link to humans and Dolmari.
Why is that?
I alone among the Venar am able to focus on a particular moment and thread in time, and so to speak with those who flow with time, like you.
How do your people perceive time?
It is hard to explain. Any moment before this moment and any moment after is the same to me as this one. I have lived already, and I am yet to live. Do you understand me?
I think so, but how's that possible?
Everything is possible, April Ryan. There is magic, and there is science, and between the two, everything is possible.
So he's everywhere and nowhere at the same time. So literally he's just a time paradox. He's a living time paradox. Or non-living time paradox? Ow, my head.
Can you see the future?
To me, every moment is the same. There is no future. I can relate moments you have yet to see, and I can unravel possible threads. But remember, the future I see may not be the one into which you walk. Moments and threads fluctuate, change. I can remember things that have never come to pass, and I have seen things that will never be.
So you can't tell the future.
I would see your possible futures, the likely threads among hundreds. If there was not a veil in time, I would.
Yeah, what is this veil? So you do see the linearity of time?
What's this veil you keep talking about?
Somewhere ahead, in our path, there is a dark veil through which I cannot pass, past which I cannot see. It is disconcerting to me to be blocked from the moments of my life.
How did this veil come to be?
It was, no, will be created in chaos, by chaos, to keep the future hidden. All threads converge on a single point here, beyond the veil, and this will happen only once. It is written.
Written? Where?
In the prophecies.
Which prophecies and where? Where can we read them?
Tell me about the prophecies.
Words have been written by seers who can discern from all possible threads the threads that are certain to be woven. These words are the prophecies.
And what do the prophecies say?
Prophecies speak of a time when the balance will falter, weakened by the assault of chaos and its servants. The moment the veil falls is the moment of uncertainty. The balance may stand, the balance may fall. I cannot tell which it will be, and I cannot even see the possibilities, the threads extending from each fork. But the prophecies also speak of a Savior, as the prophecies usually do, one who will bring order to chaos, only to release chaos on the innocent. One who will restore the balance, only to finally break it.
That doesn't sound like a savior.
The word in my tongue is Kanang La. Literally translated, it means the small seed who grew to a tall tree.
Let's probe for questions.
Can I ask you a few questions?
Yes.
So we've got tell us about yourself, do you know Father Tobias, and do you know Cortez? And also, what's going on with Cortez right now? About yourself, Obnoxus. Actually, before we do that, fun fact about Obnoxus and him knowing April's name. Through the next 2 games, I don't think you ever hear her introduce herself to him throughout the entire rest of the games. So we don't know when he actually got introduced. Because she didn't do it just now, or in this game. Because if you remember, he already knew she was April Ryan, so he already knew her name. So at some point in the timeline, her name was spoken around him. So, interesting factoid. Tell us about yourself.
Could you tell me a little bit about yourself, Obnoxus?
Me? About myself? We, the Venar, are not good at speaking of ourselves. We always know who we are, and so we have no need to tell each other.
Well, are you married? Do you have kids? Or perhaps your people don't marry?
Yes, we do marry, and we always know who we are to be with, because our future is also our past, and so we also know our children, even though, according to your reckoning, they have yet to be born. My wife will be, the beautiful Abyanda. She lives by the Bay of Fire in the east. She gave birth to our 3 female children, Abratha, Abalexa, Abpalmana.
How long has it been since you last saw them?
I see them now, April Ryan. Do not forget I perceive time in a different manner from your kind. I have given them your regards.
Well, say hi to them for me. Why did you come here to Marcuria?
I was chosen to be ambassador to Ireed when I showed a talent for seeing the flow of time from one point to the next. I was trained for a long time in locking myself into a single moment to communicate and understand your world. My people do not normally involve themselves with others, but the Veil has forced us to do so.
Why don't the Venar want to involve themselves with humans?
In the wrong hands, our knowledge is dangerous. To know of the possible fluctuating futures, this can be a weapon to some who flow with time. We cannot interfere with your time. We are not allowed.
Who says?
The balance, the Guardian. The Guardian watches not only the balance between worlds, but also the balance within. Time is in balance, and if this balance is upset, the Guardian would know.
I thought the Guardian was gone.
So he is, and that makes it even more crucial to my people that we preserve the balance and not upset it. Chaos is our enemy, April Ryan, and we do our part to keep it at bay, as do you.
Are you planning on ever going back to your people?
When we pass through the veil to the other side and time yet again opens up, I will return to my people. I look forward to that day. I miss my people, and it is hard to speak with your kind. It makes me tired.
I know what you mean. I'm a stranger here too.
You will bring us through the veil, April Ryan, and then we can both leave this place and go home.
Where is your home, Abnaxis?
Across the border mountains and north, to where the forests are evergreen, and where in winter the land turns white.
Do you know Father Tobias?
Tobias is a faithful servant of the Balance, and he is a good man. He leads the Sentinel down a narrow path, but he never wavers. We are friends.
So, I can trust him?
Trust is a concept which often puzzles me. Amongst my people there is never distrust. We always know the truth. But amongst your people, amongst those who flow with time, trust is important, a fragile thing. But yes, I do think Tobias is to be trusted fully. I cannot see beyond the veil, but up to that point there is no thread in which he betrays your trust, April Ryan.
Have you heard of a man named Cortez?
No, I have not. But that does not mean I do not know him. Names are often fleeting, April Ryan.
He's well, some have called him my mentor, others a nutcase. I'm not sure which it is, but I'm leaning towards the former.
Your mentor? He is a shifter as well?
No, I don't think so. He doesn't travel. Shift between Stark and Arcadia.
I do not see him in my life, April Ryan. I do not know him. Beyond the veil, perhaps, but not before.
Thanks, Abnaxis.
You are always welcome, April Ryan.
Let's go for some help.
I need some help in my quest.
Yes, you did.
I did? And what did you answer?
That I will help you as much as I can, but in the end...
I'm on my own. I've heard that one before. What do you know about dragons?
I do not know much about the kin, but I do know a little. Perhaps it will help you, perhaps not. The Draic kin came to this world a very, very long time ago, before the dawn of man, before the divide. The Venar had yet to learn to be outside time, and there were few other peoples on Earth. The kin played an important part in the divide, in separating magic from science, and in the founding of the Fathers, the Sentinel, to watch over the balance. It is said that after the divide of the 4 Draic kin that came to Earth, 2 went to Stark, and 2 to Arcadia. But that was a long time ago, 12,000 of your years. I do not know what has become of them since.
You don't know where I may find these Draic kin?
No, the white of the Draic kin, the mother, has, according to legend, been sighted. The tale of the silver spear of Gorimon speaks of the mother and her child. Though I think this is but a tale, and far from the truth.
The story is called The Silver Spear of Gorimon?
Yes, unfortunately I do not have this book myself, and I do not know of anyone who does.
What about the other dragon, the other Draic kin?
Of the Draic kin, I only know of the mother, the white of the kin, although I have heard tell of a god who fell from the sky into the ocean a great long time ago. But this may also be just a tale.
What else do you know about this god who fell from the sky?
Only what I have told you. Someone with greater knowledge of the ocean and the creatures that live beneath its surface may be able to tell you more.
What else do you know about this god who fell from the sky?
Only what I have told you. Someone with greater knowledge of the ocean and the creatures that live beneath its surface may be able to tell you more.
Didn't mean to click that again.
Have you heard of a disc that works as a key to the Guardian's realm?
Yes, but very little. It has been spoken of in the Ireed Council only recently, brought to attention by the Tyrant ambassador. He wished to know where it is kept.
And what was the answer?
No one at the council knows or admitted to knowing, and the ambassador was asked to speak with the Sentinel, which he is unlikely to concede to. The Tyrant are allied with the Vanguard, and so are in political and ideological opposition with the Sentinel. I know Vestrum Tobias. He would not speak a word with the Tyrant, nor the Vanguard. Not unless it was to challenge their philosophies.
So you don't know where I can find the disc?
No. Ask Vestrum Tobias.
Okay.
Do you know anything about a rift leading to the Guardian's realm?
I have heard speak of such a thing. I believe it was where the tower was built and the divide created. When the earth was one, it might still be open.
Any idea where it is?
I am afraid the Venar were never very involved in the affairs of the Sentinel, nor took any part in the divide except to agree to the necessity of it. We had little choice but to concede. We are a magical people. We need the balance, because we could not survive without magic.
How would I go about fighting chaos now? That is a very interesting question.
How would I go about fighting chaos?
You cannot fight chaos. It is not so simple. To oppose chaos, one must return order to that which has been affected by chaos, and thus reduce its powers. But this is not something everyone can do. Only those ordained by the balance can embark on such a dangerous task and survive.
Okay. I guess that's it.
That's about it for now.
I am glad I could be of assistance, April Ryan.
Thanks for your hospitality, Obnaxus.
Goodbye. Blessings of the balance to you, April Ryan, and may your journey have been a long and fruitful one.
Obnaxus, you have no idea. Or maybe you do. Slam. Let's go back to the city. Wait. One last thing. I think there was one last thing that we needed to get from him.
Enter, honored guest, and I would have been with you presently.
Nope, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. No, 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 no. Go back. Goodbye. Hi, bye. Alright, so let's head back to the Enclave and talk with the Vestrum. I'm sure that the Vestrum has some information for us by now. Yo, Vestrum, what up?
It's Vestrum Tobias Grensred.
Talk.
Good morning, Tobias.
It's Vestrum.
Why, it's April, my friend from Stark. Have you come to visit us again?
So it appears. I didn't exactly come here by choice this time, though.
Oh? How so, if I may ask?
In a weird and twisted way, it's nothing out of what's become the substitute for ordinary in my life. One second I was in my room in Newport. The next, I was in a dark alley in Marcuria.
You must have opened a shift while you were sleeping. Good. This means you are learning to harness your magic.
Yeah, I guess, except I don't think I'll be able to get back home again. And this time, my mentor, Cortez, has no idea that I'm here.
Ah, but I'm sure you will find a way to channel and control your power soon. In the meantime, is there anything I can do to help?
So many options. Okay, need help getting back home. Locate the disc that unlocks the Guardian's Tower. Find the entrance to the Guardian's Realm. Or locate the two dragons that reside inside of Arcadia. Almost called it something very different. Let's go with disc, and then after we ask about the disc, we'll go on break and I'll get dinner started so that I can have food ready by the end of stream. Yummy, yummy potatoes.
I need to locate the disc that unlocks the Guardian's Tower.
The disc that is the key? Yes, it is needed. It might even restore balance, provided the new Guardian accompanies it to the tower, of course. But you wish to find the disc yourself?
I have to. Cliché or not, it's our only hope.
You do this often, then? Save worlds?
It's an expression. Heroism in my world is more of a cliché than anything else.
I do not understand. But then I am merely a servant of the balance, while you are more. But
Oh,
yes,
yes, I am
the disc.
more.
As I told you once before, when the Earth was divided, and the realm of the Guardian created, a disc was forged in the Well of Making. The disc was to serve two purposes: as a key to the Tower of Balance should it become necessary to enter it in the Guardian's absence, and as a replacement for the disc that is already in the tower should it be broken. The tower is now abandoned and locked, and the old disc shattered. I do think the time is right for the second disc to be brought forward and used.
Where is it now?
Where is the disc now?
At first, more than 12,000 years ago, it was kept in the open, at the Sentinel Enclave outside Marcuria. However, when thieves attempted to make away with the disc, it was taken away.
Why?
So that the 4 parts of the disc could be divided amongst 4 of the magical people of Arcadia. People who would have nothing to gain from the balance being compromised.
So, who were they divided amongst?
What people were the disc divided amongst?
This I cannot tell you. I am not sure anyone remembers now. But it would be in the scriptures, I am certain.
What scriptures?
The scriptures of the balance. There are 13 of them. 13 is a strong number, rich in tradition, and... Did you know the Ireed High Council consists of 13 ministers? No, of course you don't. 13 was also the number of the fathers who begat the Sentinel, and who built the Tower of Balance.
Where can I find the scriptures of the balance?
Excuse me.
Pay a visit to the Sentinel Enclave, located outside the city to the east. The great library of the Enclave contains every book ever written by an Arcadian minstrel, and most others as well. Speak with Minstrom Yerin, the Keeper of Books. Tell him I sent you.
Alright, that seems like definitely a stopping point there. And of course it's not gonna let me save, so I'm gonna say goodbye to him.
Thank you, Tobias.
And then we'll be right
Good
back
to know I could help you, April.
to it in just a little bit. Options. Save! Haha. That was a lot of information. Super fast, too. I will be right back. I gotta go preheat the oven and all of that. So I will be right back. Good evening, Lolotov. How are you? Also, I love easy make dinners so much. Especially since the meal that I'm making today is super easy. I just stick it in the oven for about the rest of stream. So, Lolo, since you need a little bit of catching up time, what we did was we met a new character named Abnaxus, and he will have been a very interesting creature. He will tell us all sorts of information, and he has existed throughout all of time. He has yet to tell us everything, I believe. Yes, I am. Those on the stream missed my conversation with my husband where I informed him that we met Abnaxus and we had a fun conversation in the same form that Abnaxus talks in. And it was pretty awesome. Of course I would. I'm a total nerd with my husband. Are you kidding me? That's exactly who we are. But anyways, right now we are at the Sentinel Enclave. We are talking with Vestrum Tobias, and we are pumping him for information. We have to find a disc. We have to find the entrance to the Guardian's Realm. This is all kind of old news, but it's just being reiterated to us right now. We're also trying to dig deeper into where to find the disc, because apparently, because of the thieves that were trying to get at the disc, it was broken up into 4 pieces and given to 4 different magical peoples of Arcadia. So now we gotta go hunt down all the pieces, which is going to take a lovely long time. Which means we're probably going to end up having to stay in Arcadia a little longer than April would have hoped. Oh, and by the way, Tiz, in answer to your question earlier about who came up with the idea of a race that has trouble with linearity of time, that would be Ragnar Turnquist, the creator of this game. And I love his storylines. And if I remember correctly, he also did a tiny bit of a self-insert in one of the earlier streams that I completely missed. When I was going back through one of the streams, I noticed that, and I'll point this out to us again if we go back to April's apartment, but there is a book in April's apartment that is by Ragnar Tornquist, and I just thought that was really kind of funny. So it's like, hey, self-insert. We'll get started again once this song is over, and get back to asking and bothering the Vestrum Tobias. The great thing for you guys, though, is that you guys don't have to have the long wait in between games. Because, as I have mentioned previously on these streams, there was about 7 years difference, or like span of time in between every single game. Because this one was made in 1999, next one was 2007, and then the last one, most recent one, was 2014. All right. Well, that being said, let's get back to it. let's jump back into conversation with the Vestrum.
Are you busy?
I'm never too busy for you, April. What may I assist you with today?
I need to find the entrance to the Guardian's realm.
There is one. You are right in that, but where, I would not venture to guess. In the past, when the time came for the Guardian to step down and another to take his or her place, the Guardian opened a gateway wherever it was needed. A Guardian, still in full control of the balance, can invite anyone in and let anyone out. But with the Guardian gone, the only way in would be the point where the Divide was first created, where the tower was built.
Isn't that location written down somewhere?
Remember that this was done on the old Earth before the Divide. After the Divide, after the creation of Stark and Arcadia, places were shifted about. This entrance may not even be on the ground anymore.
What do you mean?
It could be up there, in the sky, or far below us, through the crust of the Earth into the molten depths below. I cannot say, and I do not know anyone who could.
Isn't there any way to locate the entrance to the Guardian's realm?
Perhaps with careful investigation of the old texts, histories of Arcadia, of the Divide, the scriptures. I do not know, April, but it cannot hurt to look. Again, you will find these texts at the Sentinel Enclave. Speak with Minstrom Yeren.
Minstrom Yeren.
I need to locate the 2 dragons that reside in Arcadia.
The Drykin?
What's the difference?
Dragons is a word from your world. The kin are not what they have become in your legends and fairy tales.
But they're real, aren't they?
Oh, as real as you and me, April. And old. They have been here since before our time. As you probably remember, the kin were instrumental in the Divide, saving mankind from a terrible end. But I know so little. Only what I can remember from my studies when I was a minstrel at the Enclave.
Okay.
How can I get more information on the Drykin?
Books, daughter, books. The wisdom of the ages. There is one tome you should study, called The Secrets of the Drykin, by Minstrom Elniak. It is old but informative, and it captures the imagination.
Where can I find this book?
Again, you will find these texts at the Sentinel Enclave. Speak with Minstrom Yeren.
Back to Yeren again. Every dialogue tree leads to books, and I would have it no other way because I am the ultimate book nerd. So I need help getting back home. Is that going to mean I need to look at books to do that?
I need help getting back home.
Unfortunately, I'm in no better state today to help you shift than I was the day before yesterday. You are the one with the talent, and so you must learn to use that talent.
Alright, well, I guess we're going to the Enclave.
Thank you.
Good day to you.
Wait, wasn't there one last thing? I think there was...
It's Vestrum Tobias Grensret. Are you busy?
I'm never too busy for you, April. What may I assist you with today?
Isn't there any way to locate the entrance to the Guardian's realm?
Perhaps with careful investigation of the old texts, histories of Arcadia, of the Divide, the scriptures. I do not know, April, but it cannot hurt to look. Again, you will find these texts at the Sentinel Enclave. Speak with Minstrom Yeren.
The last time with.
Where can I find the
scriptures.
scriptures of the balance?
Again, you will find these texts at the Sentinel
Okay, yeah.
Enclave.
Never mind.
Speak
I
with
thought I missed
Minstrom
something,
Yeren.
but I guess not.
Thank you.
Good day to you.
Alright, where was the Enclave? Actually, I want to check something real fast. Because I want to see maybe I can play that game now. That's Dolari?
It's the maps merchant.
Did I leave
Hey,
anything
you!
open?
What's going on? Why didn't you deliver any maps yesterday?
Oops.
I wasn't around, sorry.
Well, there are more maps to be delivered, and my customers are getting very impatient. Did you deliver the map to the Rolling Man?
Yes, sir.
All right, let me see his signature, and I'll give you your next delivery.
There you go.
Here's your next delivery, a map of the Northlands to a Tun Layak staying at the Journeyman Inn. And be quick about it. She's been waiting since the day before yesterday.
So let's go talk to this guy again.
That's the guy in charge of the Cups game.
Wait, do we
How
have
about a
points?
game of cups today?
How do I play?
You put your coin down on the table. I put a cup on top of it and shuffled it around with the other two cups. And all you have to do is guess which one hides your coin. And remember, no magic used and none allowed. This amulet right here will light up if you use magic. Then you'll be banned. For life!
Sorry, but I'm broke.
May the balance bring coin to your pocket, young lady, so that you may return to me and invest it in a game of cups.
Waste. I'm gonna save real fast. And then I'm gonna try my luck.
How about a game of cups today?
Okay, let's go.
Just place your bet, investment, on the table and the game will begin.
I do have a coin.
I got a whole handful of these Arcadian iron coins. It's a magnetized screwdriver.
Magnetized, you say? Okay. There we go.
Here's my coin. Now, how do I play?
I place one cup on top of your coin like so. Then I shuffle them like so. Now, you guess which cup hides your coin. If you get it right, you win another coin, 3 in a row, and you win a prize.
Nothing happened. Hey, that cup moved. I have absolutely no idea. So I'll just take a wild guess and choose this one.
That's correct, but that's... You used magic, didn't you? You used your magic wand.
Nah, your amulet didn't light up, did it?
No, but
Scamming the scammer. I
it's
love it.
impossible.
Because you use magic yourself? Because nobody's supposed to ever win your game? They have a name for people like you, sir. Con artist.
What? I'm outraged! I'm outraged!
Whatever. I want my prize.
Prize? You don't get a prize for winning once. Especially when you're cheating. You cheat.
You want me to call the city guard? I demand a prize.
Give me a prize.
Oh, by the gods of gambling. Here, take this and leave me be.
Not a chance.
A calculator? Where did you get this?
How does he have a calculator?
I don't know. Won it off some guy who got it from someone else who's supposedly been in stock. It's a valuable souvenir from the mysterious and elusive world of logic. Now, would you please let me be? Let someone else play. Yes?
Nope. I don't think so.
I'm not talking to you, you cheat!
That's the guy in charge of... It's the traditional game of cups in which you stand no chance of ever winning. The fun part is seeing just how much you can possibly lose in one go.
I'm not talking to you, you cheat!
Come on, let me play again.
It's a talking bird. I'll make a trade with you. My magic wand for one of your prizes, and then I'll leave your game alone.
What's the catch?
No catch. You get a magic wand, and I get one of your exotic prizes.
All right, fair enough. Which prize would you like?
It's an important choice, so I'll think about it before I decide.
Very well, but honor our agreement. And for the love of the balance, don't sell that magic wand to anyone but me.
It's a talking bird. You still interested in a trade? My magic wand for one of your exotic prizes.
Which prize would you like to trade for?
I haven't decided yet.
Very well.
I haven't? I want the bird. I want the bird. Give me the bird. Ugh, fine. Rude. Let's go to the Enclave. Actually, no. Let's go bother Brian, say hi. Be like, yo, what up? I'm back.
Brian Westhouse.
Brian Westhouse.
Hi there, Mr. Westhouse. I'm back.
My word. What on earth possessed you to return to this godforsaken place?
Sleep.
You were lucky to escape the first time, but now you're really pushing it.
It's not that bad a place, or else you wouldn't stay here. Besides, this time I didn't exactly come here by choice.
I stay here because I'm a true masochist, Miss Ryan.
Sure.
And who forced you to come? Was it Cortez?
He doesn't even know I'm here, unfortunately. No, I think I had some kind of accident with my so-called powers. I shifted in my underwear.
No, ha! Isn't that the way it is, though? We always cross the rift at the most inopportune times. Care for a drink? Oh, no, that's right. You, don't.
Would you mind helping me with a few questions?
I've nothing better to do, so shoot.
Alright, let's pester him.
Do you know anything about dragons?
I try to stay out of the affairs of the kin these days. What precisely do you wish to know about the damn beasts?
You were in the
There are
affairs?
2 dragons in Arcadia, and I'm trying to locate them.
Yeah, I've heard that tale myself. But no, I don't know anything about it. You'd be better off speaking with the Sentinel Minstrom. After all, religion is their specialty, not mine.
Did you ever hear a story about a god who fell from the sky?
Stories aren't my thing, April. You should visit a library. I'm sure you'll find some stories in the books. I know the Sentinel have a library somewhere near the city. I've also heard rumor of a people with wings who do nothing but observe and record history through stories. But I don't know if that's all it is. A rumor. Still, if you're looking for stories, it may be wise to check it out and see if you can find them.
What did you say about the flying people?
They're supposed to be great storytellers, and they've been observing this world for a very long time. But it could only be a rumor.
Why is that?
I'm looking for a disc that will open up the Guardian's realm.
That's religion, Miss Ryan. And the only things I worship are whiskey, a good cigar, and a nice long... Anyway, don't ask me
don't
about all
say.
that balance mumbo-jumbo.
Would you be able to tell me where I could look for the entrance to the Guardian's realm?
In Tobias's pants, if he had his wish, I'm sure. No, I'm sorry. I don't know anything about the Guardians, balance, Sentinel, or gardening. Now, if you're interested in bullfighting, I could talk all night.
That is barbaric.
Bullfighting's a horrible act of cruelty to animals, and not much of a sport at all.
I'll just forget you said that, Miss Ryan. If there's one thing I miss about Stark, it's bullfighting.
Why am I not surprised?
You'll be happy to hear, then, that they abolished bullfighting hundreds of years ago.
Damn.
I think that's it.
I can't think of any more questions for now.
Then let's talk about other things, shall we?
I have some more questions for you.
Shoot.
Oh,
I don't have any more questions for you.
Very well.
Thanks, Mr. Westhouse.
Anytime, April. Come back if you're homesick and you feel like talking to a fellow alien.
Okay. Let's go check out the pier. What's this? That's the Enclave. Man, so many places on my map now.
Assorted cargo.
Who's this? I want to talk to them. I guess not.
It's Captain Horatio Nebeve of the White Dragon.
Hello.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Do you know anything about a god that fell from the sky into the sea?
Of course. You find fallen gods most everywhere these days. They're an air and a hand.
Really?
A dime a dozen?
No, of course not. There are no fallen gods in the sea. It wouldn't make much sense, would it? If the sea was full of gods just lying about the seabed.
So you've never heard of such a thing happening?
Now you got it.
Bye.
So rude. Maybe he knows.
Hello again, old man.
It be you.
I'd love to hear some more
Wait, no.
maritime stories.
No, I don't.
Sure, sweetie, I'd be happy to. What
Dang it.
story you be wanting to hear now?
Have you heard a story about a god who fell from the sky into the sea?
Aye, that I be having. Although that be a story of man-eating mermen who ravaged the sea of songs, swallowing sailors whole and spitting their bones out to dry. Are you sure you be up for hearing such a cruel tale?
Actually,
I've
yes,
heard
that
worse.
sounds really cool.
Ye be a tough little lady, be you not? All right. Well, like I be telling yous, the Sea of Song surrounding the island kingdom of Gien be a treacherous sea where countless vessels have disappeared without a trace. Now, this be near 30 long winters ago, mind, during me second term as captain of the trader Lucky Lady. We've been crossing the Sea of Songs for 2 seasons, and we'd yet to be seeing any sign of the dreaded bloodthirsty mermen who lurk in the waters off the Gien coast. That night we be laying still with our sails down, awaiting the wind to pick up and carry us north to Mercuria, when we be hearing a frightful scream a-coming from the port side of the Lady Luck. I be the first to rush over on account of me having me arm down the apple barrel. We just been to Arras to pick up 100 barrels of sweet Gien apples. And as luck would have it, I be there just in time to witness Sally Barney's horrible fate. He be in the water, screaming and waving his arms, and the water around him be red as a midwife's arms after a grueling birth.
I get the picture. Go on.
Pretty graphic.
Then I be seeing, I glimpse a large, shiny, sleek body be pulling Sally down and swallow him whole. It be the mermen come to claim the body of the sailor who dared across their sea.
Are you sure it wasn't a shark?
What?
Big fish with sharp teeth and dead black eyes and a large triangular fin on top?
Ye mean a black-eyed snapjaw? I guess it could have been, but it be no snapjaw. It be the dreaded merman of the Sea of Songs.
Where does the sea god fit into all of this?
Aye, I be coming to that. You see, the bloodthirsty mermen be not only happy with cannibalizing sailors, but they be sacrificing their own to their dark old sea god.
Actually, unless the mermen are human, they wouldn't really be cannibals if they ate humans.
Blood
Technicalities.
sacrifices to their dreaded god who lives on the bottom of the sea. Aye, that be the truth of the mermen, fierce and bloodthirsty cannibals of the Sea of Songs.
Thanks. Good story.
Aye.
That's it.
I'm all storied out for now. Thanks.
Aye, ye tell me when you want more, right?
See you later.
If I not be dead, aye.
It's just a boring old non-treasure chest.
Okay. Okay, let's see. I need to get back to the city gates to be able to go to the conclave. Wait, not the conclave, the enclave, or whatever. The library. I must go to the library. That doesn't really look like an entrance to a library, but I'll take your word for it. Stone dragon. Middle circle. Water. Downstairs.
It's emerald green, teeming with life and carrying the pleasant, salty scent of distant shores. The dragon's mouth is pointing straight down at the middle of the floor. It's a circular hollow about 20 centimeters across and about 5 centimeters deep.
Okay. Let's go downstairs. Ooh, books! Let's see. Ooh, I like the music.
It's a rusty wheel.
Okay.
It's a pool of seawater. You'd think that it'd be a bad idea to have a pool inside a library on account of the moisture, but I guess magic makes everything possible.
Okay. We shouldn't use that just yet.
It's one of the Sentinel Minstrum.
Alright, let's go ahead and talk to him.
Oh, goodness
Did you
me,
just
I didn't
pinch
hear
his
you come
nipple?
in.
What the heck?
By the way, you haven't seen Volume 6 of the Complete Annotated History of the Northlands, have you? I could have sworn it was here yesterday.
Sorry, no.
I guess someone else must have taken it. I try to tell them to write down what they borrow on the list, but they never listen. Only last week I spent 3 hours searching the entire Enclave for the second scripture of the Balance, the scripture of song, before I realized that Vestrum Tobias was studying it back in the city. Now, such incidents could be avoided if only, and this applies to you too, young lady, people would sign out the books they borrow when they borrow them and sign them back in when they're done. Such a simple procedure. It shouldn't take more than a few seconds to jot down your name and the name of the book you borrow. It makes my job so much easier. Now, which book did you want me to find for you?
All of them. I need all the books. Also, Dewey Decimal System. It's great. Not really. I mean, it is, but I had to learn it. Are you the Minstrum?
Are you Minstrum Yaren?
Yes, of course. What a silly question.
No kidding.
How would I know? I don't know you.
I am Minstrum Yeren, keeper of the great library of Marcuria. In fact, this is the greatest library of all the Northlands. Perhaps of the entire world, although they say the Dark People have a library as big, if not bigger, than this one. But of course, we're not allowed anywhere near there. Have you been there?
I don't think...
What a silly question. Of course you haven't. You're not of the Dark People, are you? You don't look like any Dark People I've ever seen, so I can't see how you could possibly... Now, where did Volume 6 disappear to?
I would say that's racist, but I know that he's talking about a magical race of people. But that gets explained later. Probably in the next game, I think? I think in the next game, one of the characters has to go to the Dark People's library, which it's really kind of cool.
Tobias said I should talk with you.
Tobias? Vestrum Tobias? I haven't seen him for... Well, he was in last week, but before that it must have been Days, at least. How is he? Still eating enough for 2 mules? I must tell you of this funny story I heard the other day, of how Vestrum Tobias eats enough for a table full of minstrum. Or was it one Elguan? Although the Elguan don't, as a rule, eat very much at all.
I see why you're a librarian.
The Elguan can smell water more than half a day's journey away? Amazing, amazing creatures, perfectly suited for life in the desert. The balance provides, that's for certain. The balance provides.
Boy, I see why you're in the library by yourself. Because probably no one else can tolerate you.
Vestrum Tobias recommended that I look at some books.
Books is what we do best here at the Enclave, that is for certain. Which book would you like to see?
All of them. If I remember correctly, Abanaxis said something about the Spear of Gorimon, so let's ask about that first.
I'm looking for a story called The Silver Spear of Gorimon.
Yes, a fanciful tale if I ever saw one, but a charming one. Did you know that I'm often paid visit by adventurers wishing to read everything available on the spear so that they too could set out on their foolish quests?
Not interested,
Yeah, don't
old
you just
man.
hate those adventurers?
Well, they pay for my bread, milk, and butter with their contributions to the coffers, so I shouldn't be too critical of them.
Yeah,
But
don't
they
bite the
care
hand
not
that
about
feeds.
the books. They care only about what the books can give them.
I care. About the books, really.
Yeah,
I can
care.
tell. So, the Silver Spear of Gorimon, then?
Yes, please. Up to it. He's gonna be one of these slow-moving avatars, isn't he? Alright guys, I'm gonna
did
count on
find
you.
something of interest.
Keep notes.
I'll leave it here for you to read.
Oh, I'm supposed to go read it. Okay. Thought I was still waiting on him. Alright. I guess we'll do some reading. With some lovely background music, too. The Silver Spear of Gorimon. In the glory days of Bakshiva, before the drought, when Gorimon was the greatest city in all the known world, the Parak of the Paresh of Bakshiva decided to forge the most powerful weapon in the world to challenge the mighty White Dragon. The Paresh had grown greedy and bored, his treasure hold filled with all the riches of the world, and he desired nothing except the one thing he could not have. The unborn daughter of the White Dragon, the fairest, purest, most beautiful creature in the universe. He had asked the White Dragon for her daughter's hand in marriage, but she had refused, scolding him for his insolence and warning him to keep... That was an unborn daughter. You're asking for the hand of an unborn daughter. That is... Ugh. Creepy. Keep his distance from immortals. So the Paresh sought the advice of a mighty sorcerer, the cruel and dark Eos, to learn how to kill one of the Dryad kin. The sorcerer told the Paresh of the white silver of Mount Tierney, the strongest substance in Arcadia, and how it could be forged by magic to kill even one of the kin. The Paresh ordered his army to go north across the ocean and to bring back enough white silver to shape a weapon. When his men returned with the rare metal, the Paresh ordered the finest blacksmith in Bakshiva to his castle, where Eos, the sorcerer, cast a spell to create an unholy forge. 10 days and 10 nights it took before the exhausted blacksmith could present a tall spear to his emperor, but before the spear could be used to kill one of the kin, it had to be bathed in blood. Beheading the poor blacksmith and the soldiers who had retrieved the white silver from Mount Tierney, the Paresh's private bath was filled with their blood. Oh, that's graphic. As he dropped the silver spear into the red bath, watched over by Eos, a terrible scream erupted and steam rose up in a red, foul-smelling cloud. When the steam lifted, the blood was all gone, and the spear was glowing in a deep red color. With the terrible weapon now ready to be wielded, the Paresh issued a challenge to the White Dragon to either surrender her daughter to him for marriage or to suffer a painful death at his hand. Enraged, the White Dragon refused him yet again and flew to meet the Paresh, his sorcerer, and his 1,000-strong army on the green fields outside Goramon. Of the magical silver spear, she knew nothing, and the Paresh kept it wrapped in cloth by his side. "Bring your forces around," Paresh warned the White Dragon. "If you do not, I will lay waste to them all." "I wish my men no harm," lied the Paresh. No kidding, lied. "For this is between the two of us." He then rode forward alone and dismounted his horse, but stayed within reach of the spear. The White Dragon landed before him and said, "You are brave to face me like this when you know you cannot harm me." Then the Paresh raised a hand as if to greet her, but it was instead a sign to his sorcerer, the terrible Eos, who cast a mighty spell to hold the White Dragon, while the Paresh drew his silver spear. The White Dragon fought bravely, and she was close to escaping the sorcerer's magic, but the Paresh was quick, and he thrust the magic spear into her chest. She screamed in pain and anger, and the sorcerer's spell could no longer hold her. Rising on her beautiful wings, blood pouring down on the land below, she cursed Bakshiva, her Paresh, and her people for all time. Wherever the White Dragon's blood fell, the land turned arid, and grass became sand. The Paresh sent his army to follow the White Dragon and to bring back her egg, but the drought grew, and within days the once proud empire of Bakshiva was turned into a desert. Then followed a fierce storm that tore across the land for 100 days and nights, and that's where the 1,000 Days and Nights story came from. And when the dust settled, there was nothing left of Bakshiva but 2 coastal cities and a few scattered oases. It is said that in the buried ruins of a lost capital, wrapped in the arms of the Paresh who dared test the immortal, rests the silver spear of Goramon. Well, alright then. That's quite the tale.
Are you done? Let me take that back for you.
Yes, I'm done. That was a lot of reading. I need some hydration real fast.
Oh, goodness, it's you again. Oh, you gave me such a fright.
I love how he startles so much.
Could I see some more books?
It's like we're
Oh,
tickling him.
certainly. What a silly question.
Okay, so that was the Spear of Goramon. Let's see. We could do one on the history of Mercuria, Arcanian folktales. Don't feel like reading. History of Mercuria might help with finding the rest of the discs.
A book on the history of Mercuria would be interesting.
Ah, an extensive subject to be sure. I will do my best.
And I will do my best to try and read it all. Also, the spear is something you should not forget, but it doesn't really come into really big importance until the third game. So keep it in mind. Try not to forget it.
I did find something of interest. I'll leave it here for you to read.
I will probably forget about it. All right. Travels in the Northlands by Jemin the Discoverer. First part. In my many years as a traveling poet and bard, I have journeyed far and wide across the the fair realm of Arcady. Like Arcadia? And I have seen sights most people have not dreamed. I have stood on the magnificent and terrible southern capes in the midst of winter, when the storms are at their fiercest, while waves as tall as the towers of Aldebaran washed over my frozen body. I have witnessed the monstrous beasts that lurk in those dark and deadly waters of the south swallow brave galleons whole. Creatures the size of mountains that, with a flick of the tail, can touch the depths of the sea and the stars themselves. I have crossed the great ocean from north to south and from east to west, and in the course been stranded on desert islands, with no sustenance but what I could gather from the sparse vegetation for months at a time. I have ridden the giant Elguen across Changriel, the wasteland, from Altaban to Monterva, and further south where the Turek, the oasis, are few and far between. And I have seen the shifting dunes above the ruins of Goraman, precious jewel of the Bakshivan Empire, concealed for centuries by the coarse and treacherous sand. And I have journeyed far west, carried on goodwill and destiny by shadow ships, to the strange and unknown cliffs of a world unseen by most, a world of an unfamiliar tongue and customs, a world of great wonder and mysticism. I have seen all this and more, but the fairest sights still I have seen in the lands of the north, from Ireed to the border mountains, from Tiran to the Bay of Fire. No sight can ever compare to dawn at Mount Tierney, looking out to the plains of Nedra, where wild stallions run free in the thousands, and to look on the city of Coruscant, the pearl of fire, while the boiling sun sets in the ocean beyond, the slow waves reflecting dark yellow and red as they lap slowly upon the sandy shores, is an experience truly treasured and ne'er forgotten. These lands are blessed by the Creator, shaped by men, yet wild and free and fertile, home to the greatest cities, the most precious sights, and the most cultured and civilized people in Arcadia. Of all the fires I have rested my wearied legs by, of all the taverns where I have learned the legends of tale spinners and memorized the songs of bards, of all the lands where I have wandered from city to village, it is to the Northlands I return time and time again to learn ever more. Join me now, for I will invoke in you the very emotions I first experienced when visiting the sights and the treasures of the Northlands. Join me, and I will surely bring you there, to the exotic midst of this blessed land. You will pine for its rugged coast and green woods and its hardy people, and like me, you will ne'er rest until you can return to yonder shores. Lord, is that just the prologue? Okay. Marcuria, O Marcuria, thou unkempt diamond, of capitals thou art by truth the fairest. Thy counsel many seek, for knowledge kept within it is centuries sought and gathered, by men wiser than the ages, brought hither by word of mouth. Marcuria, changed thou not the course of war. between thy people, diplomat, O wise magician, all this and more. Thou hast without equal the mark of merit and virtue. I'm starting to think that I should just read all this. Written by Gemin Urthrin the poet. The august capital of Ireed, the unified country, Mercuria lives on the hardy southern coast of the Northlands, halfway between Tiran and Coruscant. It is a port of call for merchants, traders, adventurers, and pilgrims from all four continents, a place of commerce and diplomacy for millions of humans and other species. I'm going to skim this real fast and see if there's anything that is actually relevant. Okay, yeah, there is actually stuff of relevancy. I'm gonna still read it then. Ireed is a strong and proud land perched between the plains of Nedra to the north, the land of Tyrion to the west, the Great Sea to the south, and the forest of the Northlands to the east, and is inhabited by humans, Dolmari, Tyrion, Mole people, and the Vanir. Ireed was formed after Mercuria emerged as a major center for diplomacy and trade, and became the banner under which the surrounding lands united as one. Ireed is a democracy currently led by the Chief Council of the Ireed Flag, Lord Yagven Dellen. The High Council, composed of the ministers who govern by representation, resides in the Mercurian Hall of the Assembly, flanked by the palace and the barracks. The Iredes are traditionalists, and their form of government has barely changed over the last few millennia. In High Tongue, Ireed means unification or assembly. Mercuria is one of the largest cities in Arcadia, the capital of Ireed, and a center for trade, diplomacy, and cultural diversity. Populated by a large variety of races, from human to Vanir, Mercuria has grown from its origins as the birthplace of humanity and a city to all Arcadians and the hub of the civilized world. Founded 20,000 years ago at the shore of the then unconquerable ocean, it is its first. Okay. It is the first known permanent settlement of emerging human race, initially left to its own devices by more developed races. Mercuria grew large and fat and wealthy. With newfound confidence, it passed through a period of expansion which gained it a reputation as a merciless aggressor, which soon brought violent attention from the Tyrian in the west and Dolmari in the north. After years of war, Mercuria was decimated and subsequently rebuilt with sufficient reinforcements to weather attacks from both sea and land. Peaceful times followed, whereupon Mercuria settled into the role it has in today's Arcadia. Although the surrounding areas fall under its jurisdiction, there is blah 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 blah. Okay, I'm bored. Let's see, is there anything else? No, literally that's it. Okay.
Are you done? Let me take that back for you.
I regret having read all of that aloud. I'm gonna have a sore throat later. Let's go poke him again. See if there's anything else I missed.
Oh, goodness, it's you again. Oh, you gave me such a fright.
Could I see some more books?
Oh, certainly. What a silly question.
Okay, so we got the history book, we got that. Arcadian folktales? That might help, because we're looking for the Mer people and the
I'd like to read some Arcadian
folk
folktales.
A favored topic of mine. I have just what you're looking for.
Story time with Alabaster Girl. That's
I
kind of what I
did
feel
find
like
something of interest. I'll leave it here for you to read.
It's kind of what I feel like just happened with the stream. Story time. Okay, this is interesting. Sadra, the faithful wife. Sadra was married to a brute of a man named Kar. He was a bully who drank, cursed, gambled, and beat up his wife when he'd lost coins at the cups table. Still, Zadra treated Kar with respect and care. He fed him when he was hungry, she made his bed and washed his back, and she laid down with him whenever he told her to. She never complained of her hardships to anyone, even though some days when she woke up with bruises all over her body. Despite her husband's treatment, Zadra was a beautiful woman with lovely dark hair and green eyes, and men would admire her when she went to the market for food or the town well for water. But none dared approach her, fearing her dangerous husband more than they admired her beauty and grace. People would say, "Poor Zadra, she deserves better than what she has. She is so good and patient, even though her husband mistreats her every day." But no one was willing to do anything to free her from her husband, as they all feared his wrath. "She chooses her own path," they would say, "and it is not our duty to interfere." Then one day, a tall and handsome prince rode into town to visit with the elder council. When he saw Zadra carrying 2 heavy buckets from the well to her home on the edge of town, he was taken with her beauty and youth, and he jumped down from his horse to help her carry her buckets home. On the way, he offered Zadra courtship, but when told she was already married, he bowed respectfully and excused himself for acting inappropriately. That night, Zadra's husband heard about the prince helping his wife, and after striking her down for letting royalty interfere with her duties, he strode drunkenly, for he had already had his usual fill of dark ale, towards the tavern where the prince and his cohorts were staying. When Kar arrived at the tavern, the prince was eating dinner, and when told Zadra's husband was there to see him, the prince stood and waved the man closer. "I must congratulate you on your good taste in a marriage," said the prince, "for your wife is the most beautiful and good-hearted woman I have ever met." Then he offered Kar a seat and a tall mug of ale. But the angry husband did not appreciate the prince's advances, and he drew a sword and lunged at the prince before his guards could react. The prince was quick and lucky to avoid certain death, and before Kar could make a second strike, the prince had recovered his sword from where it had stood by the wall and stood ready to fight the brute. "Leave him be," cried the prince, when the guards drew arms and ran to protect their liege. "This is between him and me." Smiling briefly, he nodded his head to Kar and stood to attention. Obviously, his skill with the sword was formidable. Kar, a coward at heart, knew that if he fought fairly, he would surely die, and he sheathed his sword, but loosened the knife he had tucked up his long sleeve. "My pardon, Prince," said Kar. "My love for my wife is such that I am blinded by jealousy. I offer you friendship and apologies." He extended an open hand to the prince and smiled a broad lizard smile. Lizards? The prince, unaware of Kar's mistreatment of his faithful wife, smiled back, put down his sword, and extended his own hand. "Your apology is accepted, sir." Then suddenly, Kar's knife was in his hand and moving in a blur towards the prince's exposed throat. Had it not been for the quick eye of a nearby guard, who with the broadside of his sword struck Kar on the side of his head, the prince would have been dead. The knife carved a deep scar into the prince's shoulder, but did no harm. Kar was taken away to the town prison to be judged when the sun rose. His crime was surely punishable by death, especially if Zadra would testify to his cruelty in front of the judge. Free of Kar's tyranny, the townspeople now spoke of Zadra's suffering by her husband's hand. But Zadra would not herself, even now, speak against her husband, and instead of being sentenced to death, Kar was sent away to work at the king's mines for 25 years. Taken by her faithfulness, the prince yet again offered Zadra courtship, but again Zadra declined, for she was still a married woman. Then 1 year later, Kar attempted to escape the king's mines by killing 2 guards and climbing the walls, but he was shot down with an arrow and died in agony and disgrace. Again, the prince visited Zadra's town, bringing condolences and a renewed offer of courtship, and this time Zadra agreed. Months later, the prince and Zadra were married in a glorious ceremony, and when the old king died, the prince became regent and Zadra his queen. She was as good a queen as the land had ever seen, and she was loved dearly until the day she died. And her funeral was the greatest and the most tearful in memory. And I'm not going to keep on reading this. Children of the Lake. Okay.
Are you done? Let me take that back for you.
I have read enough stories to y'all today. I don't think we're getting the information that we need. No more reading, I say. I am interested about this wheel down here.
It's a rusty wheel.
Yes, indeed it is. Let's turn it. Why not?
It's stuck.
Rip. Is there anything else?
The water's pretty cold.
Jump in, take a bath. So I think we actually did get we should have gotten a new destination from reading those books, from reading the history of Mercuria. So let's go to the pier and see if we can go get that. I apologize. It's been another hour. So it is time for me to go eat. But first I am going to get us to where we need to leave off, which is the pier. And I probably wasted a lot of time by reading out loud. So I'm gonna go ahead and save it here. Good. My apologies, friends. That was not supposed to happen like that. Let me get some music on. If I can find my music, where did it go? There it is. Oof. I haven't had that issue in a while. Well, now I know. Do not save over anything. Just keep making new save files. I will keep that in mind for the next time. And don't save. I don't think it was saving with the inventory open. I think it was more just the fact that I tried to save over an existing save. Because if you've noticed in previous streams, I always create a brand new save. And what I did was I clicked an existing save. So that's what messed with it. I mean, it's not the first time I tried to do that. I tried to do it before, but it wasn't on stream that I did it. Because I was trying to figure out how Longest Journey worked in any capacity. But anyways, we did learn a lot today. We had some stuff that was reiterated. We met a new character, which was Abnaxis of the Venar, and he's really fun. He does last through the 3 games, if I remember correctly. So we will see him again. And, well, maybe just the 2 games. I don't know. We'll find it out. But it is fun stuff. We went and talked to Brian Westhouse, and so yeah, we're gonna be in Arcadia for a little bit. But yeah. How do you guys like story time with me? I probably won't do that again, if I can help it. It's just like all of a sudden I'm back in school and having to read in front of everybody. Put on the spot. Not that I didn't voluntarily choose to be put on the spot. I am streaming after all. Yeah, I probably won't do that. I mean, hey, there's also a reason I don't go and read April's diary. Because the chime that you noticed earlier, there's always... April's always jotting away in her diary. I don't go look at it because there's just a ton of writing in the most ridiculous font. So I don't go look at it unless I absolutely have to. Oh, you mean the Scottish play? We vote for Hobbits. You do mean the Scottish play. Remember the curse. You're gonna be cursed, my friend. You're not supposed to say the name. You're not in any plays right now, right? I think it was if you said it, if you were in any existing plays. If you said it while you were on the stage in a play. I don't know. It's been so long since I was in Sock and Buskin, honestly. And I forgot the speech. Well, most of the speech. There was... So, when I was in college, for those who don't know, there was a sorority, the sorority fraternity. It was co-ed, where it was for our college's theater group, and kind of the groupie group for this theater people at our college. Sorry, words are hard. And so it was part of our rush that we had to do, where we had to speak the speech, or we had to recite this part from, I think it was Hamlet. And it was... Okay, let me see if I can remember it. And we vote for hobbits, you are not allowed to help me. And I'm not gonna look it up. Speak the speech, I pray you, as I recite it to you, trippingly on the tongue. But if I speak it to you... okay, yeah, that's about as much as I remember. Don't lie, we vote for hobbits. You were totally a sorority girl. Do not lie to us. But anyways, yeah, there was a bit that I was at the club, but I ended up stopping going. It wasn't too much hazing, it was very light. Don't have a stroke. Lolo, I think you would have done very well in drama clubs. Tiz, what play were you in? Oh, the Crucible. I love that. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I can't remember the name either. I was part of a play as well, but interestingly enough, it wasn't while I was in Sockenbusken. It was when I was in Germany. So I actually spent 5 months abroad in Germany, and there was this there was another group that was called Babylon, and it was for the international students of this college. And the play was called Shakespeare Drügen gesucht, which means the search for something along the lines of the search for Shakespeare. And I had a very small part. I was one of the photographers at the end of the play. So I luckily did not have a speaking part because I was not as good at German as my boyfriend was at the time. But it was an interesting experience. I enjoyed watching everyone practice. We went to we ended up going to a cabin in the woods at one point to practice for one weekend, and it was fun. I enjoyed it. A marmot? We vote for hobbits. I have no idea what you're talking about. And of course you do the entire thing. Okay. Speak the speech, I pray you, as I have pronounced it to you, trippingly on the tongue. Though 3 females? Okay, that's probably speech to text. None of this... Yeah, no, okay, I think you may have gotten a different part, because I don't remember any of that. Give me a second, let me look it up. Speech, I pray you. Okay. Speak the speech, I pray you, as I pronounced it to you, trippingly on the tongue. But if you mouth it, as many of your players do, I had as lief the town crier spoke my lines. Nor do not saw the air too much with your hand thus, but use all gently, for in the very torrent, tempest, and as I may say, whirlwind of passion, you must acquire and beget a temperance that may give it smoothness. Oh, it offends me to the soul to hear a robustious periwig-pated fellow tear a passion to tatters, to very rags, to split the ears of the groundlings, who for the most part are capable of nothing but inexplicable dumb shows and noise. I would have such a fellow whipped for overdoing termagant. It out Herod's Herod, pray you avoid it. And yeah, that's very different than what came to from the speak to text. I really don't know what it heard. Alright, anyways, I am hungry. I am gonna go get my food. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for taking time out of your long day of Thursday. And I will probably go back to Longest Journey on Saturday as well, because we've got a lot to go through and so much is happening that, you know, I was going to do a demo stream on Saturday, but I think I'm going to switch it back to continuing the Longest Journey, because there just is so much going on. We are right at the brink of so much plot development that I really don't want to tear myself away. So that is what we are going to do. So thank you again, and may the balance hold you. May the balance be with you, and have a great night.